The stories about the origins of the African American experience in Douglas County have varied through the decades. Some include tales about abolitionist Frederick Douglass and his believed connection to the original name of the county. And other stories include the family accounts from the Polks, the Sparks, the Winds, and the Pounds, family trees that date back to the early 1800s, and family histories that begin in the fields of Douglas County.
My great-great-grandfather, as we was told, was purchased in the Carolinas on the slave market at the age of 4, along with his mother. They were brought to Campbell County, which is now Douglas County.
The Polk family, one of the first known African American families in the county, took the last name of landowner and slave master Ezekiel Polk, the cousin of the 11th U.S. President, James K. Polk.
My family came from Cayeta County to Douglas County in the 1800s.
And the Sparks and Pounds families from the 1800s well into the next century.
My family came from Telfair County, and they landed here in 1939. They were sharecroppers.
Were like generations of African American families who filled the green pastures of the rolling hills to help create the economic engine of prosperity along the county's 201 square miles.
For years, they was raising cotton, corn, and all the gardens, great gardens, because all the families, the family was large, and we ate everything from the garden, or it was grown here. Even my father raised cow and the hogs.
You were doing all of the work, but yet you had to share the proceeds with your slave master. Only that. At my time, it wasn't a slave master. Like I said, it was sharecropping. We lived on what they call the plantations. So, some of our parents were working in the houses, and so we had to go in the back door of their houses.
Though families lived on different plantations and properties, one thing was the same: their faith and the early church life for African Americans in Douglas County.
A family that prays together stays together.
While some worshiped in the fields as they worked, some landowners opened up their churches on Sundays for their workers on the back pews. That was until too many wanted to pray.
Therefore, they gave them an acre of land, August the 3rd, 1882, and built them a church that is still standing as of today, and the name of it is the New Bethel Baptist Church on Poole Road of Winston, Georgia.
New Bethel was just one of a few churches that became early houses of prayer for African American families, churches that remain today.
New Mountaintop Baptist Church. It's where I'm a member all my life. Thank the Lord for bringing me this far.
The journey from the 1800s to the 1900s saw both pain and a push for progress. One of the most notable occurrences happened during the Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s, when the mule train caravan needed to go through Douglas County to get to Atlanta on its way to the nation's capital. The Poor People's Campaign was trying to draw awareness to the impoverished conditions in which many Americans lived. People from all over the country wanted to lobby the federal government for greater access to jobs and living wages. The campaign was met with trouble in Douglas County.
I remember when they coming through and they wanted to go to Atlanta down I-20. And our governor, Lester Maddox, he wasn't going to let them go down I-20.
Nearly 70 people were arrested for trying to travel along the highway. The Douglas County community rallied to help.
One of the local churches and other churches in the community provided them with meals and bathroom facilities.
Eventually, the authorities released the participants of the Poor People's Campaign, and they were allowed to travel on the highway. The Civil Rights Movement also led to changes in the county's school structure. Like many systems across the South, Douglas County schools transitioned from segregated to integrated.
They pulled just a couple of the students from the black schools and place them into the white schools. Just, started out like that. And eventually they come together as totally integrated.
We graduated from the 11th grade. They added the 12th grade, and they offered the 12th grade for us to come back and take the 12th grade, which I did not do.
Though many did finish, many others went on to serve their country. It was the struggles of the early years that paved the way for the progress that would come to be for African Americans in Douglas County.
Daddy deeded each person off their properties, their 1 acre, to start their own homes. And from there, that's where the Pounds family started to own their own homes. They know this as Poundsville, Georgia.
And since those struggles, the progress is evident. African Americans now leading in the halls of power, in leadership, and in various business, education, sports, and arts and culture industries. And many from families whose lineage date back centuries. The success of Douglas County and its current diverse landscape have been decades in the making, and now its melting pot of cultures, experiences, and history are a reflection of that rich past and a continuation of the progress already made.
It makes me feel good to see the progress that they're making, but yet it's a long ways to go still.
From the groundbreakers to the changemakers, families enjoy calling Douglas County home, and it's what makes Douglas County the place of hope in the region.